All right, welcome back to your second set of videos, the second part. So, in the first part, we looked at what is occupier's liability. We said that the occupier of the premises has sufficient degree in control of the premises, and as a result, has the duty of care to ensure that the premises is reasonably safe. We said that this occupier's liability is a common law doctrine, and in PNG, the Wrongs Miscellaneous Provisions Act adopts the doctrine and also the basic fact that it's provided by the PNG law. And the people that come onto your property, there are different categories of people that come onto the property, where the occupier has the duty of care to. So, firstly, people with express permission, like for parties or stuff like that, where you invited people to come onto the property, they have the permission to come onto the property. Secondly, the type of people that comes onto your property are people that do not have the express right, but have been impliedly sort of given the right of way to your property. For instance, postmen delivering letters, and then food deliveries, stuff like that. All right, the third people or persons that are entitled to come onto your property, where the occupier liability regime covers, is people there by law. So for instance, police officers chasing a criminal right across your yard there, and also the firemen trying to come and put out a fire. Also, the law takes a funny twist in the sense that it says that people that do not have the right to come onto your property but have come onto your property, like trespassers, and if they get injured, the owner of the property can be sued for those injuries. So I've given you two cases there, Young versus Kent. This is a case where a 12-year boy was playing with the ball and then accidentally must have kicked the ball over on the roof. And the defendant was aware that the roof, there was a hole in there and there was some deterioration in the roof and needs to be fixed, and he did not fix it. So a little boy was trying to, as nimbly as possible, trying to fetch the ball. Uh, Legs went right into the roof and then he suffered injuries. And then he sued the owner, and the owner was told to pay damages. All right, this type of cases, they show you that the occupier's liability, the duty of care to any occupiers of a property, is far-reaching and is wide. So the duty of care must be given at all times. All right, another important sort of thought under the special liability regimes is employer's liability. All right, for instance, when you talk about employer's liability, you talk about a duty to take reasonable care to ensure that the safety of their employees. So basically, an employer has the duty of care to take all actions possible to ensure that their employees are safe and there's a safe place of work and a safe system of work. So, for instance, if you see the case that I've given there, Wilson and Clyde, basically it's a case about a coal mine. There was an injury because of the fact that there were processes that needed to be followed, and what happened was that the employer in that case failed to provide a safe system of work by the appointment of agent who performed the duty. So basically, the court saying that if there's a failure by the employer to provide a safe system of work for the employee, you would see that they're liable. So, for instance, when you're employed to go and work, you want to work in a building where everything is safe. Huh? You don't want to be working in a building that there are holes in the floors or holes in the ceilings. So, in terms, when you walk or when you're trying to walk from place to place in the office, you know, fall right through one of the holes. Or you don't want to be working in a place where there are naked wires just flying all around the place and you have a high chance of getting electrocuted. This is not the type of places that you want to work. And in PNG now, or in the modern world now, things like air conditioning, yeah, things like air circulation and ventilation, all these things are important sort of duties placed on employers to ensure that their place of work and system of work is safe. So that means that an employer has a duty of care to ensure that the place of work, the actual building and the structures are safe, and the systems, the processes, procedures on how to handle machinery, all these things are safe for its employees. So in PNG in 1978, I've given a case of Edward versus Jordan Trading is Jordan Lighting and Dorset Engineering. Basically, this case is the plaintiff was a qualified electrician and was working for the defendant, and it was a construction site. So what happened was that on one occasion, while attempting to examine a light fitting on the roof, he used a ladder placed on a box was held in place by an employee of the second defendant. The ladder slipped by reason of the employee of the second defendant letting go, and the plaintiff fell to the floor and suffered injuries. So when this happens, the plaintiff sued the company because he suffered fractures to heels in the pelvis and right wrist with disability. Basically, the court stated in the case, safe system of work includes such matters as the layout of the jobs, the sequence in which the work is to be carried out, and the provision of special warnings and notice. So what happened in this case is that the court said that, we know that your employee was the one holding the ladder, and that employee should have been trained to note that when a person goes up the ladder, it depends on you for his stability up there. And at such a height, it is reasonably foreseeable that if he falls, he's going to suffer injuries. As a result, you have to ensure that you hold him in place for the job to be completed. This never happened, and the person suffered uh, basically the injuries that they have suffered. All right. The next thought that in your slides that we're going to look at is interference with person. So interference with person or trespass to person is an actionable tort. It's a civil wrong. There are three types of trespass to person: battery, assault, and false imprisonment. All right, what is battery? The tort of battery tells us that we must not interfere with or touch the body of another person without lawful justification. So you cannot just go and push someone and tap someone and smack someone, and this is a civil wrong, which is battery. Right, assault and battery. Assault, it has a criminal sort of connotations to it, so you can be charged in criminal law if you assault someone, and also they can charge you for monetary damages, money. Yeah, if you indirectly intention threat by defendant by claimant, if you use imminent contact either by different some person without the defendant's control. So basically, assault can be physical or can be verbal, emotional and mental. All right, the third one is false imprisonment. So false imprisonment tells us that we must not restrain another person's liberty without lawful justification. So this type of cases are most common with police officers. You know that many police officers, what happens is that when they arrest people, they can arrest them for false accusations, or they can lock them up without, giving them sufficient time, 2 days, 3 days, overnight in the cells. This amounts to the civil wrong of false imprisonment. So, for instance, in the case of Kakipa versus Nikili, it was one two cases that were given there. Village court in Enga ordered for a claimant to be sent to prison. The claimant went to prison and was ruled by the courts, and the court said the village court has never the power to send persons to prison. So this is an interesting case of false imprisonment, where the village court told a person that you are committed to jail, and the person went to jail, listening to the village court. And when the district court reviewed the matter, I said, "There's no power given to village court officers to send people to prisons like Bomwana and Buyevi or Paisu." All right, in your next slides, we'll cover in relation to privacy, and then we'll look at the rule in Violence versus Fletcher and the thoughts of trespass to land and nuisance.